Yeah. I mean, everywhere you go is an opportunity, to get to the next level or have that next conversation. I was wearing a shirt in the gym one day. It said Surf Costa Rica on the back. Guy came up to me, goes, "You surf?" I said, "Yeah, I dabble." He goes, "Oh, I just got back from a trip in Costa Rica." Next thing you know, 6 months later, we close a loan. Golf courses, man, I can't tell you how many deals I've closed on the links. And then it's just, again, wherever you go, just like being curious and using your ears.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Devin Peterson, is the founder of Pro Alpha Capital, smart capital for real estate investors. They're in the commercial and investment property loan space. He's also a University of Miami graduate with a degree in economics. Devin, welcome to the show.
Dylan, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's great to connect with you. We were chatting a little bit before hopping on the show here about Sarasota, about where you're at currently, about St. Pete. But before we touch base on that, I do want to ask you how you got into the real estate space.
Yeah, I would say I tripped and fell into it. Long story short, I had a family relative that had been working in the mortgage industry lifelong time. And at a very young age, I'd kind of watched him very closely and admired the way he carried himself, admired the way he, was successful. And then we were out playing golf one day. I was probably about 17, 18 years old, and we were having breakfast, having some pancakes and sausage, whatever. And he was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" I was like, "Oh, maybe law school. I don't know. I don't want to work 80 hours a week, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "Oh, whatever you do, make sure you choose a career that reflects the lifestyle you want to have, and not a career that's going to dictate the life you're going to live." And before I took my next bite, I was like, done. Like, where do I sign? So that was it. And then I went full regalia. I never looked back. I went to college. I did some of my LSAT stuff, but hopped right into loan origination. And boy, has it taught me, more than any degree ever has, for sure.
Now, were you getting active and then getting into the mortgage space while you were in school?
I was, yeah, part-time. I was taking my NLS classes. I was doing some marketing. I was collecting docs, and I was just kind of watching videos and, basic YouTube university, just taking a general interest in the world of, mortgage, notes, origination, real estate investing overall. And it was so captivating to me because it all kind of, tied in together. And that's, how I really got started, and it was 2017 at that time when I first moved to Miami, end of 2017, beginning of 2018. And this was all pre-COVID, and, business was great in the mortgage space. And so when I got started, rates were rather low. They got even lower. And then COVID hit. The world turned upside down and they popped. So I saw the lowest of the lows and the highest of the highs all in a span of 3 years.
And so when we're talking about that time period, you're in school, you're seeing a market transition really in the real estate space. You're also in Florida, which tends to be even more impacted by these types of events. I want to get a little bit granular on your day to day. So you're going to school, economics, right? University of Miami, so I can imagine you're probably thrilled to be there, just campus, right? But you're also realizing you've got a passion for the mortgage space. Walk me through those first couple deals. Walk me through, what were people saying to you? Did you have a peer group that was heavily involved in real estate, or did you kind of feel like I'm on this on my own? What was it like?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
That's an unreal question. It was a very terrifying, for me at least, it was a very terrifying, lonely beginning. And I say that with a heavy heart, but in a positive light, just because that's what this space is all about. It is a burn to learn industry. So my first couple of deals were a grind. You spend hours and weeks and months studying to take the test and pass it. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I have to produce. In an industry where everything is commission based and you have no salary, like I said, you put all your eggs in one basket and burn every other bridge around you. And that's the type of person I am. I just don't give myself a way out, right? So I networked with everybody in school. Would find people on the golf course who were successful. I would go up to random people on the putting green that I knew had nice cars and be like, hey, how did you get that nice car? And like, oh, I bought 50 rental properties and I worked in this space. Oh, great. Tell me about it, right? I've just always been a person who studies people. I'm very interested in individuals and how they accomplish their story of success. And I think that general sense of curiosity that like kind of drives my day to day is what's led me to be so successful because, at the end of the day, humans love helping humans, right? We are, a passionate species and we want to be able to share ideas with one another. And so, the very, beginning of my career was a lot of, falling on my face and getting back up. And I knew if I just, kind of learned from falling instead of, backing out, getting up from the table, all the chips would fall. And they did. And so I then found that it's a very wide space to have your hands on a lot of different tools between the loan products, conventional FHA, VA, USDA, non-QM, DSCR, hard money. And you can't be, again, like we say, jack of all trades. So I found my niche in real estate investing, which was a non-QM investment DSCR space. And then that led me to kind of, start my own portfolio of mid and short-term rentals. And I have a business model that I'm going to, kind of put on pilot for the next year. That's once Pro Alpha Capital is stabilized, then I can move on to my next passion project.
Now, I want to ask you about the starting of a career while also being an economics major. I don't want to gloss over that, right? Because I imagine you're starting to see your business take off. You're starting to get traction. You're in school. So this has got to be fascinating for you. And then also like proof of concept. Do you remember that time period and when you're starting to see, hey, this is working?
Yeah, 100%. And then I realized my degree isn't worth anything. I was in school in University of Miami, honestly, to have fun and, live the best days of my youthful 20s. And I did for sure. But yeah, it was so inspiring and eye-opening to see, wow, like the classes that I'm taking right now have no effect or input in the success of what I do in the real estate space or loan origination. It was purely the school of hard knocks for me. And so I knew before I even graduated, like, I'm not going to law school. Like, I don't want to work 80 hours a week. Like, I want to be able to, again, like I said before, have that lifestyle, that job that reflects the life I want to have. And so when I closed those first couple of deals, I was like, this is it. This is just like, why would I want to do anything else when I can go to the gym at 10 o'clock or, go golfing at 12 o'clock? If I don't want to work today, I don't have to. But just being able to be in control, I think, of my own life was like the selling point for me at that time in my career because, you graduate, you're scared I was a C plus student, you know, I was a C's get degrees kind of guy. I wasn't that
Hey,
smart, you know, but I figured it out. And I think the most important thing about it was knowing my place was I'm very, you know, talkative. I like to communicate and I like to problem solve and I like to help people. And, you know, it just all kind of, you know, fell into place at that time. So yeah, it
and
was
when
very
when you
inspiring.
you mentioned, you know, golf, going to the gym, you also mentioned being passionate about people. When we talk about the real estate space in general, it really is a referral business when you're starting out. And so those places, the golf course, the gym, right? The areas around you, those can be a gold mine. I think people often pass that up.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere you go is an opportunity, you know, to get to the next level or have that next conversation. I was wearing a shirt in the gym one day. It said Surf Costa Rica on the back. Guy came up to me, goes, "You surf?" I said, "Yeah, I dabble." He goes, "Oh, I just got back from a trip in Costa Rica." Next thing you know, 6 months later, we close a loan. Golf courses, man, I can't tell you how many deals I've closed on the links. And then it's just, again, wherever you go, just like being curious and using your ears. I overheard a conversation at a dinner table about, you know, 3, 4 months ago, group of small, tight-knit investors. They said a couple of trigger words, and I was like, I know exactly what they're talking about. Went up, introduced myself. Next thing you know, I'm underwriting a $46 million, 260 unit multifamily in Connecticut for this guy, and we're like the best of friends. So
Unbelievable.
it's just like it's that sense of curiosity, it's that natural instinct just to like don't think twice, like go, because you don't want to regret not taking action.
Doing it, not
Yeah.
doing it. I want to pivot a bit here, Devin, and ask you about Pro Alpha Capital. I imagine you graduate University of Miami, you've got a business going. Why did you decide, hey, I'm going to go start my own? I'm going to build Pro Alpha Capital. Was there something specific that you really felt passionate about that inspired you to do that?
Yeah. I've always, so I come from a family of entrepreneurs, not in the mortgage or real estate business, general contractors, but self-employed. I've always had that, you know, entrepreneurial drive in me. I was never good at listening to anybody else or listening to the rules or being told what to do. But again, my first job out of college was working in the mortgage space, and it was, you know, for a family member. And, you know, I kind of, you know, he took me under his wing. I learned a lot. But I always knew that I wanted something bigger and I wanted to serve more people and not just myself. And so I started Pro Alpha Capital with the mindset and, you know, the purpose of training other loan officers to improve their lives, right? So our team is not just a sales force, it's a family. And a lot of our originators come from a space and a background of like they work in the black box, they're sick of their lives, they love their salaries, but they hate the hours that they work. And so it's not just, you know, it's not all about the money that you make. It's about the life that you can spend and the time that you
Yeah.
have with your family and friends. And so we're a very, you know, modern, forward thinking type of company when it comes to, hey, this is not 9 to 5. You create your schedule as long as you get your stuff done and you are held accountable. You have an accountability system. You know, we're not going to be on top of you. And I think that's the difference between good success in the sales industry and not being successful in the sales industry. So, you know, we're kind of driving that mentality in everybody and kind of create the best version of themselves for themselves.
In addition to the idea of, you know, a company that is building a family, a community, you had mentioned before hopping on here that you're involved in a number of different asset classes. Of course, you got multifamily, but you also still leave the option open for traditional, you know, FHA loans for your loan officers within your company. Is there an avatar of a deal when you're looking at a deal? For instance, is it small multifamily? Is it larger multifamily? Is it office space, or is it really across the board?
Like, so when you say avatar, do you mean like something that I really focus on and what I want to do myself? Myself, my own flavor is anything that's multifamily, anything that's non-owner occupied. And just because, of what the end game looks like can be so different. Like, if you're going to buy a home as an owner occupied, borrower, like you're going to live in it and that's it. Right. But like, what is the exit? What is your strategy? What is the purpose behind buying this, two door or this, fix and flip? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to hold it? Can you Airbnb it? Are you going to throw some Section 8 tenants? Is there a cool midterm rental strategy? When you're talking about multifamily units, 50, 60, 100 units, are you following the Walmarts, right? Are you following the new company that would just put 5,000 jobs in the open market, right? And now you have that, kind of cornered. So
if you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
It's really just the different flavors that kind of, spark my interest in real estate investing and gathering all these golden nuggets. I mean, I see so many different strategies. And again, being a loan officer enables me to have these conversations with all these different investors and just bookmark that and be like, wow, that's a win. That's a win. That's a win. And then like, I can reference that in my own life and be like, hey, it worked for this person or that person. How come I can't do it? So again, circling back to like, why I think this industry and this career is so cool is because it pays more dividends in the conversations that you have with people than the salary that you make, right?
Yep.
But that's kind of the avatar for me is definitely like, I hope I answered it correctly, like the
No,
creative and
yeah,
investment space.
absolutely. I think it's interesting because this is a different space than what most people who are in the mortgage space plan. When we think about the mortgage space, someone starting out, early on in a career, recent college graduates, let's say, they might say, okay, well, I'm going to go, stay in this space, traditional, and then maybe I'll become a broker, and then maybe I'll have a team underneath me. You went the investment route. My hat goes off to you because I think there really should be more people in that space because there's so many people who are interested on the sidelines because they might not know somebody. Well, they're really just like one conversation away on the golf course or in the gym from meeting, a Devin Peterson.
Yeah, it's life-changing, man. I mean, one rental can change the opinion and outlook of anybody's life, and that's why I do it.
I want to ask you before we wrap here about Sarasota. I know you're in Sarasota. We were talking a little bit before hopping on the show here. I'm actually passionate about that whole area. I haven't been out there. I haven't been to Sarasota, west coast of Florida, but I've heard great things. And you were mentioning just how great the community is out there.
Oh, unbelievable. Second to none. I've lived in so many different places in Florida, East Coast, middle of Florida, West Coast. And as I was mentioning, it is such a tight-knit community. It is a very big, small town feel. Everybody knows everybody, especially for those who are self-starters, entrepreneurs, even, for the younger crowd. I mean, when I moved here, I got involved with men's groups, beach workouts, Bible studies, run clubs. There's women's groups if you're a significant other or your wives. It is just so, it's like heaven on earth living down here. I mean, minus obviously, yes, we have palm trees and beaches and white sands, but it's just, again, being able to build a good community with good people who all have your best interest at heart is really an integral part of anybody's success. And so I think
Yeah.
Sarasota is like a top place to live in that respect.
100%. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people may be pleasantly surprised to hear that. I know I certainly am. It's putting
Yeah.
Sarasota on my map of places I may want a property at some point
It's
in time.
awesome.
We are coming up on time here, though, Devin. Where can folks go to reach out to you if they're interested in learning more about Pro Alpha Capital?
Yeah, absolutely. So any loan interests, anything related to mortgages, you can reach our website at ProAlpha MTG. That's short for mortgage, MTG, ProAlphaMortgage.com, or you can reach me out on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter at ProAlphaPete. So that's my handles on all the social medias. Always posting some great golf content. It's very amusing. People love it. Play a little golf, provide a little value, and yeah, anything you need, you can find it there.
Devin, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Awesome, Dylan. Thanks for having me. It was a blast.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.